Who's going to win Coach of the Year? Because I think Stan Van Gundy. And here's why I think that. Quote me now. The Pelicans are going to be a top 5 or 4 seed in the West. Stan Van Gundy, if he gets that team from not being in the playoffs to a top 5 or 4 team in the West, the West, you know what I mean? And you have that Zion hype train behind you, he legitimately has a chance to win Coach of the Year. And I watched the Pelicans during the preseason, like they're better. They're better. Like all the teams that made it into the playoffs or had a chance to make it to the playoffs in the 8th seed, they're by far better than them. Like they are, and they're all playing defense, and not turning the ball over either. Like against the Heat, like Jimmy Butler wasn't playing, but like they were like it looked like how they played last year, except much more like compressed and less forced. Like they look like a really good team. And Brandon Ingram and Zion's already just 31. He's already playing good minutes, 33 minutes. Brandon Ingram's doing his thing, dunking on people, shooting that three. Lonzo, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Like they're and they got JJ Redick come off the bench. They got Steven Adams, who's gonna be, all he does is set screens. And Lonzo's coming off the screens now, shooting a mid-range jump shot and making them. Like it's interesting to watch, and I think just for the situation at hand, and the room for improvement from when he first came in, that Stan Van Gundy has a legitimate opportunity to win Coach of the Year.
I'll ride with you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, when you lay it out like that, it makes sense. Like my first instinct was kind of like Tyronn Lue probably gets it just because his team ends up
that is a good one,
better than like the Pelicans, which isn't like they already were. It's not like saying a whole lot. It just like something about it just feels like something that would happen to me. But like Van Gundy's coaching job would probably be better. Like just on the real, the job he'd have to do to get them there, even as talented as they are, would be better because their team is more inexperienced. They're not quite as talented across the board. It's still as good as they are. So it might be a situation where Van Gundy should have gotten it, but like Tyronn Lue or somebody we're not thinking of, I don't know, Vogel or somebody, I don't know, gets it instead.
Because also a good one would be Doc Rivers too.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers, if he does his job right, which according to players, like Doc Rivers is a good coach, you know what I mean? So if Doc Rivers comes in does his thing, Doc Rivers has a legitimate chance to also win that award. Actually, I might even change my opinion from Stan Van to Doc Rivers, just because Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. like that changes everything, and their stock was so low last year in terms of certain things. Granted, their stock was only low because Ben Simmons got injured. Like if Ben Simmons would have played, then I think the narrative amongst that team changes. But he was injured, so he didn't play. So all of a sudden, they got out the playoffs early, and no one was really upset about it because everybody expected it because your second best player, your second best player got injured and was not playing, and it's like a really, really, really good all-star level second best player. So take that away, Doc Rivers comes in and they get to Eastern Conference Finals. They get to second round of the playoffs. Doc Rivers could win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like the Doc Rivers pick because his role would be somewhat easy.
Mm-hmm.
The 76ers finish as the 6th seed. If he can get them in the top 3, we're already talking about much better. And their road record was awful, 12-26. if he can flip that where they're like closer to 500, I think we're talking about like a completely different. We talk about a completely different storm. But I got two dark horses for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Carlisle with the Dallas Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
They were the 7th seed. I could see them making their way up to the 5th. We got to think about how the East. I don't know what the Rockets are going to be. I mean, in the West, I don't know what the Rockets are going to be coming into the season. I'm just not sure what we're going to see. Chris Paul didn't exactly drag the Thunder to the 5th seed, but
he was close.
Yeah. He put the boys on his back.
That Thunder team's gonna be nice.
It's gonna be nice.
That Thunder team's gonna be nice. Like, if you want to watch some fun basketball, but you have Chris Paul, so like somehow efficient, like watch that Suns team. It's gonna be something different.
Yeah. And then my second dark horse. It's gotta be Steve Nash, yeah. We're always enamored by the new coach, especially if we can see a difference in the way they play and your players excel. And they were the 7th seed. I can see them creeping up to be a top 4 seed. Both of their stars are going to produce. And just depending on what that system looks like and how much his hands are in it, I can see them being like, let's go ahead and give him a nod. Or at least look at him. I can see that. You said what?
Better not be Steve Kerr.
You said Steve Kerr?
It better not be Steve Kerr. Because Steve Kerr, the Warriors didn't make the playoffs last year. So if Steve Kerr comes in and or if this year happens and the Warriors do like, because the Warriors are making the playoffs. Let's not get it twisted. The Warriors are making the playoffs. Because Steph Curry makes that much of a difference. If the Warriors come in and let's say for S's and giggles, let's say they make 4 seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, they wouldn't make 4 seed. Let's say they make 7 seed through 4th seed. Then like people are gonna put Steve Kerr up there, but he shouldn't be up there because we saw what he did last year. Boo boo, garbage. You weren't coaching very good. Like when it was time for him to coach, he underachieved. When he had like an opportunity to truly coach, all of a sudden when your Steph Curry comes back, and all of a sudden you do good, you should not give the credit to Steve Kerr. You once again should give the credit to Steph Curry and whatever.
In fairness to him, and like I say this as somebody who doesn't think he's a particularly good coach, I think he's probably kind of mediocre. That like, truth be told, like I don't think you could find a coach that could have gotten that Warriors team into the playoffs. Like
not in the playoffs, but to look like an NBA team.
I didn't watch.
If you're the NBA, that's a minimal expectation, and they were worse than that.
They barely had NBA players last year. Like Kai Bowman was starting for them at some point. Do you know where Kai Bowman went to school?
Boston College.
Nerd. But like,
nerd
against Kai Bowman is not a starter in this league, at least not yet. So like, and those are the type of guy. Like their best player was like Pascal, like Eric Pascal. Like that should be known. That's the best player on the G League team, but that's not the best player on the NBA
Draymond
team.
Green. He's the 3rd best player on the championship teams. Their best player was Draymond Green.
I mean, like even if
he ain't playing enough.
I love it.
It's just like even if you make that argument, I guess he probably ain't playing enough. But also his game is one that complements other people's games. He can't carry a team. It's just not how it's set up.
My bad. I forgot his game was one that complements the greatest players of all time, not like your average basketball player. My bad. That was on me.
I mean, even if he makes him better, he's still not.
I did take that. I know, just trash him. But
there was nothing done. Might as well start Pascal and Bowman. Like they're not making the playoffs, and you realize that quick.
But Steve Kerr just better not be in the playoffs, or better not be in the conversation at least, because we've named 4 other people, and that Suns head coach. He legitimately could be coach of the year if the Suns play the way they're supposed to play. Now, just from the expectations of the year before coming into this year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of record and all that kind of stuff, because the Suns with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Ayton, you should be doing good. like there is no excuse. There is no excuse right there, right? Because Chris Paul, also with Devin Booker, Chris Paul does not need to work as hard because Devin Booker is legitimately that good at scoring. Like yes, you with Chris Paul worked very hard with James Harden, all kind of stuff, but also Devin Booker's game, he does not hold on to the ball as much as James Harden. Like Devin Booker's game complements more because he also can just run off screens and all kind of stuff, and they have a huge body in Aiden who can like finish at the rim and make those screens. They are poised to do very, very well this year. And their head coach, and I'm not, what's his name?
Monty Williams.
He is poised to have a very successful chance at winning Coach of the Year. Granted, I didn't think the Coach of the Year conversation would become like the biggest conversation we've had so far. But I guess that's the way that's the way the fiddle blows.
That shows how much like the league is like weirdly changed this offseason. Like there's like a lot of furniture moving, yo.
Yeah, that's true. Now next I say we get into